the final episode of Face the Strange. This is going to be a long one, so get a snack or whatever before we get cozy. I just wanted to thank everybody first for hanging out with me and listening to me read this weird shit. It looks like some people enjoy it, which surprised me. I didn't think this would get any views, so thank you. Let's jump right in. Chapter 19. Dally waited anxiously for the show to return. It was the longest break she'd ever had to take for a show. She wanted to kill all the commercials she was so mad about, but finally the lights dimmed down and it was back on. But that was the last thing she horsed before it all went back. Next thing she knew, she was in the lettuce on Maury, no longer with the limelight on her. Instead, she was replaced by a girl who got 600 people who banged her. It was somebody's username. I'm not... Stupid fucking bitch whore. When the bitch went on stage, fucking everyone spat on her. Remember, she wrote a mean letter to me. Just in that moment, Dally thought about it, and she was never gonna find out who was her baby daddy. Was it Bill? Was it Edward? Was it Jacob? Who knew? She was going to have to wait till the baby was born. And that's exactly what she didn't. 9 months later, which means it wasn't a vampire, because vampire babies take a lot less time. She put on your CSI detective hat. She gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. This one she named Shadette because she was Shadow's twin. She looked at Shadette's features. Shadette had red eyes, so it could be either Bill's or Edward's or Hiei's. Shadette had black hair, so again, it could be anybody's, even Hiei's. Shadette had nails that were long and full lips like the moon, so it was obviously Bill's. At that moment, she sent Bill a subpoena. Bill checked the mail, and a man was at the door. He was wearing a long white coat with buttons, a tie, and his hair was parted. And he said, "Bill, you are being served at the District Federal Court of Hogwarts. You have a daughter, and her name is Shadette, and so you have to pay child support on that, you fucking asshole." Bill was like, what the fuck? So the next day, he dressed up in his Sunday best. And he went to the courthouse. Before him was Cyclops from the X-Men, the judge. Of course he was. "Okay, Bill, what do you got to say about that?" said Cyclops, slapping him with the hard hand of the law. "Shadette isn't my kid. Look, she's a girl. She can't be mine," Bill argued like a vent. "Well, that's your problem. Fuck you," said Cyclops, and now he has child support. Dally got a lot of money from Bill because vampires are rich. So she brought a mansion outside of Hogwarts where she went to school, except Professor Jack Skeleton said she still had to be a part of Ravenclaw. Like, just because she had her own house doesn't mean she gets her own house. She still had a crush on Bill, so she invited him over to the mansion for tea and had Hiei and Edward babysit Shadow and Shadette. They had the house themselves. Dally wore her hottest laundry and a hot teddy. Bill just wore whatever because he's hot all the time anyway. So is Dally, but hotter now. One thing led to another, and they hooked up at least 10 times that night. Bill is a vamp, so he doesn't sleep, and Dally just wasn't tired, and you could hear them moaning all the way from the outside. Meanwhile, Edward and Hiei were watching Shadow and Shadette when they heard the mourning. "OMG, you think Dally's in trouble?" Hiei asked, concerned as he put baby's bark in the crib. "Yes, we should hurry." So they ran out of the house to the scene of the rhyme. They tried to knock on the door yelling, but she didn't reply, so they tried to bang it down, but they didn't reply to that either. Finally, they got in through the window. The house was dark, and it was so big it took them a long time to navigate through the hallways, but they smelled something foul. Edward busted into the room just to see Bald sink his fangs into her, and the blood began to pour out in pools like a cesspool. "No!" He jumped on top of Bill and battled him. Hiei joined. "Stop!" yelled Dally, pulling the sheets over her bare and bloody beef. She was so embarrassed. Bill started biting everyone then, and it didn't matter and if he got Ed and got Hiei. Suddenly, Hiei and Dally both began convulsing on the floor, spazzing out and raising out of the mouth. It was obvious. They were turning into vampires. Now everyone is vampires. And I haven't read whatever is beyond this, so... exciting. Chapter 20. Meanwhile, while the Hogwarters were having their own drama, Dumbledore and Mystique were having their own drama. "It seems there is a new variable in the equation," said Dumbledore with math. "And Dally is popping out babies like the West Nile virus." "That fucking daughter o' mine," screamed Mystique. "Yar, she just makes me so mad." "You see, my dear, you know what this means?" asked Albus. "No. It means you have to give your powers to both Shadow and Shadette, and it will weaken us together, sending our mechanical plan to failure," asked Dumbledore. "Fucking Jesus Christ, you're right," Mystique noted. "There has to be an exception." "Well, you don't have to give them the powers until they're adolescents, so if we kill them before they level up, we can have all the powers to ourselves." "Wah ha ha ha," laughed the two of them. This way were where Dumbledore and Mystique. Will you let me tell to readers it within a bunch of outlying of where Hogwarts' only strongest and most savage of the wizards is possible travel deeply is. It is in Japan, where there are many willow trees and squirrels and dragon bush are. But Mystique and Dumbledore were not alone. A young guy with long red hair and a scar across his eye were listening in. He was the Batos side and wore a robe thing. His name was Veroni Kenshin. Kenshin graduated from Hogwarts a couple of yards before in 090, and so he knew shit was going down. He pulled out his cell and texted an old friend, and word spread like rapid herpes. Back in England, Hiei was in the hospital wing. Dally sat caringly by his side holding his hand. Is he going to die? She asked the nurse. No, but he is infected. He has 24 hours for someone to find the serum to cure his vampire, or else he will turn. She replied, then looked down at her phone. Oh my god. What is it? You tell me right fucking now, said Dally, bursting into tears. She was concerned by the look of concern on the nurse's face. I must go talk to Professor Jack. Something has happened, she said, and stormed out. Link and Sasuke abread just then. What's up with her? Asked Link. I don't know, but I don't like it. Hey, you can disappear, right, Link? Dally? Yes, I have that power, he replied. Go spy on her. So Link turned invisible and went down the hallway to where the nurse was. She was talking isothermally on the phone and he overheard. Nurse. Yes, Professor. I know that it is true. I got a text, that's how. The headmaster has teamed up with Bill and Mystique and they are in a Japanese forest now planning on... Yes, it's horrible. Bye. Sasuke returned and told them what happened. What? So they're in a Japanese forest? Just then the nurse walked in. Oh, so you overheard my converse. Listen up, cunt. We need to kill that. Or now, said Dally. Well, you better hurry, because the text says they're leaving in 24 hours for a new destination, and no one knows where that is. The nurse gurred. Dally looked at Hiei. He looked so pale and famished. That's so sad. He groaned in Argonauts. She had 24 hours to find the antidote, but 24 hours to KTFD. What will Dally do? Will she save Hiei but let Dumbledore and Mystique get away? Or will she let Hiei turn into a vampire but save the world from certain Pearl? Find out next time in FTS. Chapter 21. 5 long years passed since Dally and her friends could not find Malcolm Dumbledore. They still haven't found or KTFD yet, guys. 1,825 long, arduous days. 4,380 long seconds. Human time and wizard time are the same for everyone, so it was quite terrible. Until finally there was a big breakup. Dally was babysitting on her babies that she had with a couple different guys on home when the phone rang. Ring, ring-a-ling. Hello, she answered, and she was greeted by a heavy sign. Hello, she repeated, still nothing. Fucking hello, she finally screamed, and there was an answer. At long laser, said a chilling, familiar voice. OMG, said Dally, it's you! And then he hung up. Righted, she ran to grab her boy at the time, Hiei. Call every yum, she said. It's time. The A-team was back at it. This time there were more. We have Dally plus Hiei plus Shadow plus Link plus Sasuke plus Mystique plus Professor Jack Skellington % Draco plus Harry plus Hiei. It was the A-team. I have been awaiting this moment, said Edward Cullen, taping a windowsill impotently. By the way, how is our baby, Dally? Good? They knew where she was this now. No e-scalping this time. They used an old Martian in Hagrid's hut, rip Hagrid, to track the call to an old prison in Hogwarts who only Alvin Dumbledore had access to. It was her that Dumbledore must have called and other murders. Harry pulled some brooms out and vomited them at everyone. They all caught and flew into the holy sky. But it had been an exonerable time since Annoying had been at Hogwarts and they had to stop for directions. They came to a speedway and the brave and sexy Hiei asked an old creepy looking twat what to get to Hogwarts. The man was very helpful and said, go down the road on Jefferson Avenue, make 2 rights, go 3 miles to Florida, and soon it is on the left before the exit farther on the Espresso Way. Thank you, they all said in unicorns. 5 years of pure rage, hate, and sads, they were about to end it all. Shadow, of course, was driving and used a magic spell to go exactly where the near-dead told them to go. He drove into a back alley and it was dark and spooky. I don't think this is Hogwarts, Dally piped up. She was always the first to notice these things. Look, there's no castle. Everyone looked around confused. They had all taken precautions, creak. What could have gone expired? Just then, an old guy waltzed up to the car. Shadow rolled down the windy. Hello, children, can I help you find your way, he asked. It was the same man who gave them the address. Edward opened his fangs to yell, it's you, but before he could do that, the dude turned blue and grew big blue boobies like a chia pet without nipples. We all know who's this fucking guy. You stupid bitch jerk, Sasuke cried. Why you do this? I know what your dealio is, Mystique screamed. You're trying to KTFD. Well, forget about it. And right before their eyes, she began stabbing the Christmas Jesus out of Sasuke. He died. Why do you even care? Dumbledore is gay, said Link. He will never love you. Well, oh, this just made Mystique so mad that she turned up into a giant troll goblin and threw up plasma all over them. The A-team knew they had to get out of the situation. So Harry re-threw them the brooms, but not before they all touched tips. This created an atom bomb. They only had sex to get away from the situation, so when Harry dropped the bomb, they activated light speed. Soon from the air on the moon, they could look down and see the effect because the plasma and nuke mixed together. Mystique was porked to turn back into an old man, and boom, and it was silent, dead as a door narwhal. Running out of breath, the gangbang had to return to Earth after swallowing a big gulp of breathe. Dally shook. One down, one to go. He finished my sentences because they were love. But guys, not to shit on your parade, but we need way more help, Harry burst their bubble. I know who to call. Harry Potter whipped out his cell phone and punched in some numbers. It rang. Hello, Obama speaking, said a familiar voice. Barack Obama. It was only the president. Obama knew it was coming because he was also a substitute headmaster at Hogwarts on weekends. Of course he was. In pragmatically no time, Obama was there in his private jets. It was luxurious. It had golden showers and a self-aware Roomba. I am a Roomba, it said. Dally got into the cock and started captaining. She Taylor swiftly found Hogwarts and swooped in like a bat out of jail. They had all the students emancipated so they wouldn't get hurt or raped in the battle. I was sacred. She shimmied and shook. He put a hand on her head. It's going to be okay, he said reassuringly. Edward gurred. His feels had not gone away for Dally. In fact, the boner stood strong. This would later be a big, big dick distraction. They slowly walked down the Great Hall like turtles. Then a black figure appeared before them. Let's keep going, said Obama before them. It was tricky dicks to find the dang place because Dumbledore had titty-trapped everything. They found a hall that had a bunch of codes and riddles. They knew it was the placenta. But how are we going to solve this, Shadow spurted. I don't know math. Me either. I know how, said J.K. Rowling. Dally got pissed as fuck. What are you doing here? She freaked out. Dally hated J.K. for being racist and sexist because only Harry is the hero in her books. Dally was ahead of her time. Dally, I know I'm a cunt, but please listen, said J.K. bowling. Hear her out, said he. Now Dally hated her even more and tried to plunge her wand into her, but she dodged it. Such evasive. Okay, kill me after. I don't care. I have nothing to live for, but first let me do the codes. It seemed a fair bargain, but would Dally take the bait? J.K. Rowling undid her COD and the door flung ajar. Okay, I guess I should kill myself now, said Rowling, and the A-team entered the prison. Okay. No, it can't be, said Dumbledore, a spawn being dumble-scovered. The jug is up, said Draco. Time for you to effing die. Never, said Malcolm X. This is what I was fighting for. Dumble shat the abracadabra at Draco and hit him square in the raw jaw. Draco got AIDS. You see, you fuck with Dumbledore, you fuck with everything. Bam, bam, he shot more spells. I am the Illuminati, I am Chris Brown, I am Jack the Rippler, and everyone in between. Dumbledore was getting turned up. He dunked on everyone. It was looking worse, and when no one finally thought it could get better, it got bad. Oh no, said Dally, pointing at her crotch. My water broke. Dumbledore seizured this as a perfect hip opportunity to a truck. He raised his wang. Edward saw this. With absolutely no problems, he ducked in front of Dally. The spell hit him in the chest as hard as hell and sent him flooping thousands of feet in the air. Dally screamed. She knew if it was anything Ed was scared off, it was the air. The boner raged on. Shadow rolled into a ball and double jumped onto Dumbledore. It did a little bit of damage. Dumbledore, red alerts by bitch splatting Shadow. Link's time to shine. He freezes time while everyone is moving in slow-mo. He takes the storm of swords and boinks him right in Dumbledore's facial. And quelling the passage of time, Dally Darkblood had found herself locked within a focused gaze upon Edward, picturesque in beauty even now as his body that had held her, fought for her, and entered her erratically lay defenseless in its whirlwind spiral towards grisly end. The baby was crowning. Time uncame back to normal. Blood squirtled from Dumbledore's dome. All in one big bundle of McFlurry at once, Edward ate the pavement. Dumbledore exploded into a Christian bale of fire, and a new brony child booped out of Dally. At that moment, they were invincible. The circle of life. Simba. He ran over to Dally, holding to the decapper-turtled head of the rage. Let's name it Edward, he obligated, to commemorate his life. They all gartered round and tossed glitter on it so Babby would sparkle in the sun. Then from the mouth of the babe came a song. We gather here at the mountaintop to sing of the joys of defeating of the bad old men who touch little boys in their no-no joys. Oh yes, we sing too bad he died so fast, wish he died of dysentery. They clapped. We can't stay here, said Dally. You heard the man. When you fuck with Dumbledore, you fuck with everyone. Snowdon, she remembered. She had the powers. She could turn into anything she wanted to, and now that her stupid whore island mother was dead, she canned goods anyone these. Let's all start ovaries, Dally said, smiling. She concentrated all of her energy in and orbed everyone together. They were filly-tingling senses. The transformation was complete. Everyone shook their long manes in the wind and cheered. Everyone was ponies. They all clopped off into the sunset to live cloppily ever after. The end. I didn't see ponies coming. Anybody see ponies coming? And I'm very certain this is definitely a troll fic now that I've seen the end, but I'm so glad I read it. I hope you enjoyed it with me. I'm open to suggestions to read something else. I don't have anything present, but I'm going to keep looking for stuff. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.